Justice, a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you. Great to be here.
I am so excited to have you on. Oh my goodness, last night, just the things that were channeled to me, and it gave me all the questions to ask you. So I'm so delighted to have you.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
So, as an indigo soul, can you share your realization of this and how you are here to empower others? Share your story.
Yeah. Well, I always kind of felt like I observed the world. Um, well, when I came into the world, it was very abnormal to me, just the way everything was, and I was just a very deep child as I was young, and I had this longing and this yearning to just know the answers at a very young age. The questions of the universe and who God is and this and that at a very young age. So as I got older, it intensified, the seeking process and just, um, seeking and trying to find the answers of why we are here. Who am I? What is this earth? How did it get here? Who is God? All the answers that a lot of us, question. But I only realized I was an indigo about maybe 2.5 years ago, at the end of 2019. To be honest with you, so
Wow.
it was a very I had a very abrupt spiritual awakening. It was at the end of 2029, right before the pandemic hit. I think it was by design also, but I feel that was a trigger for a lot of people to wake up as well.
Did you
But
hear what you just said? You said 2029.
oh, I did.
Yes.
Well, that must mean something.
That must mean
Oh,
something.
wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right. Maybe I didn't have enough coffee. I don't know. Um, so yeah, the end of 2019, I meant. I call it a galactivation because it was, I realized, after I woke up, you know, I didn't even really know what was going on with me. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people ask me this. It's kind of good that you're interviewing me because other people can watch the video. But to be honest with you, it's there's really no human words for it. Because me describing it doesn't even scratch the surface of the real experience. It's um, it could really only be felt. It can't really be told, but I'll try to tell it the best I can. But I realized after I went through this literal metamorphosis, I literally merged with that higher version of myself. And I went into an intense research phase. So when this all happened, I was literally guided by my spirit team, which I found out is the Lyran Syrian Council, who seed and oversee evolution on planets and solar systems and galaxies, and the Christed, the Christed guardians. And I found some material on it, but the material I found just confirmed already what I was receiving. So the way it all happened was just divinely orchestrated. The downloads, the activations, the intensity. So it's like it was literally like the old me died. The old energy literally left, and my justice had to go through a period of acclimating that new higher energy within this within this vessel. And it's a lot, but I literally connected with the earth. I accessed the Akashic records, some of my past lives, and it's still continuing and continuing. We're always evolving and expanding. But I hope I didn't wander off too much with that question. Maybe I could
No, I just have one question for you. When you started getting all these different downloads, like Akashic records, did it all come with time or did it just all come at you at once?
Well, a lot of it came flooding in at once, but it was like I had to do the work also. So it was like it wasn't I wasn't I was getting activations and downloads, but it was literally like my higher self was leading me to each breadcrumb,
Got it.
one piece at a time. For what I was ready for. But it was quick. I mean, I remember I woke up, and within I think like 4 or 6 months, I literally did my first video because I was getting all this information. I'm like, I have to share this. Like, what am I? Because my high, I would almost feel guilty keeping it in, and obviously that's my mission. Is like
Hmm.
I wouldn't be activated if I was just going to hold it within. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be transmitted, and that's a big part of my mission, along with many other things, is transmitting these higher frequencies to the collective and activating them. And I call them galactivating them. But it's to be honest, I couldn't have imagined this in my wildest dreams. My human mind, my ego mind in the beginning. I was a professional photographer. I would shoot like Sports Illustrated type of stuff, swimwear, fashion. Before that, I had a construction business and tile business, work with stone and so it was always creative. I was always a very deep creative, kid and person, and I still am. And so I use my video and editing skills to put out, awakening, inspiring, motivational content. It was all kind of by design. It's funny when you look back at your life, you think the things you went through were like, oh, why did I do that? But it was literally all by design, you know.
Exactly.
And but like I was saying, if I could explain it, when I was young, I was raised in an Italian family, Catholic, but they never really pushed religion on me, thank God. But I received my communion and whatever, and that was about it. They didn't really force us, but it was always in the family, and the Bible and the rosary beads and all this stuff. But it never made sense to me. It never made sense, looking at Jesus. Even when I was a kid, I'm like, if I died, would my mom put me how I was sacrificed on a cross and hang me on the wall? Like, no, that don't make sense.
Mm.
But so what I was getting at is that all the questions I yearn to seek and find out, I've attained. And that's just mind blowing because we grow up thinking, oh well, it's heaven or hell, and it's just this lifetime, and we'll find out the answers when we die, and we don't know anything, we're not meant to know anything now. When we die, we'll find out. Well, you don't have to die to find out. And I was blessed with that activation. And I know, since by going through the process of ascension and doing this and going through the earth game and living the 3D life, now I did it. I played the game, I did the 3D thing. So now I'm just very well versed, and I have the ability to um, relate to many different humans in 3D, since I lived through it. And now, since I've ascended consciously, I could take in those higher frequencies and translate it into a relatable, um, receivable package where they can retain it. Because if I was just to speak 5D and all this higher stuff, it would just fly over a lot of people's heads. So
Hmm.
I think I'm really good at breaking it down and making it very simple, very, very simple to understand, in order to just inspire and activate people. But yeah, I'd never thought that I would be able to receive this information. So I am extremely grateful.
Such a
And
blessing for you.
yeah, yeah.
We are in the middle of ascension, meaning we are in a whole new paradigm. Can you explain that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the whole planet is ascending, as well as humans, and it's a lot, because it's a lot of information that has been hidden from us. That's why I say, I mean, we're in the middle of ascension, and probably more than half the planet don't even realize. So, but what it is that, if I could break it down simple, um, our solar system, all our planets rotate around our sun. But not only do our planets rotate around our sun, but our whole solar system rotates and moves throughout our galaxy. So that's where you get the ages, the different ages, right? So we're actually in a whole new time space. We're actually in a whole new position in our galaxy. And that's what you call, that's how they get they call them the Yuga cycles. The Mayans, predicted a lot of it. And, they have what is it? The, the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, the Gold Age, whatever. I might have missed one, but so it's just cycles of light and dark, cycles of ascending consciousness and descending consciousness. And the reason why that happens is that when our solar system moves through our galaxy, we align with other suns. So we have other suns. They lied to us, like we just have one sun. We have many other suns. We have another sun that we're aligning with a sister sun, Alcyone, and then Sirius. And so that's why if you look at the sun is changing, it's different colors and all that, because we're receiving higher energies from those suns. So everything is aligning. We've rotated through the dark age, and how the gold age happens is that we move into a higher frequency light because we're moving closer to those suns, and we align. Not only do we align with those suns, but we align with our galactic center. So it's all aligned. So we move into this high photon, they call it a photon belt of light, 2,000 years of light, where consciousness comes back to man and humanity and all beings on the planet. So, that's where you get the dark ages, when we cycle through that and then we move away from the galactic center and those suns. Well, it gets darker and we get further away from those higher frequency energies. So consciousness drops. That's why you have, like, in the medieval times, that just barbaric, chopping people's heads off and stuff like this. It's like, we go through these dark ages where we're in the middle of an ascension cycle. That's what it is. It's a stellar activation cycle. Stellar meaning stellar bodies activating us. It's just like we mimic everything. It's literally macro to micro. Like, we're literally like a planet. Earth is a living, breathing being like we are. It has a soul. We weren't taught this, but we're literally like the molecules of the planet. But we're designed the same way. We have all these chakras and energy centers. So does the Earth, and that mimics and reflects out into our galaxy and universe as well. And that's what I teach is all about our DNA. What it comes down to is DNA. So when we approach the light, the sun is God's source energy, life force energy. It actually activates our dormant DNA, and that's actually what awakens us. So the trigger is the sun, because we have 12 strands of DNA. I always tell
I
people,
was just going to ask you that. Yes.
it's like, I mean, even when I wasn't totally awake, I think I was in high school in ninth grade, and I used to doodle. I never paid attention in school. I hated it. But, my eyes lit up when she mentioned DNA, 12-strand DNA for some reason. And I popped up, and she goes, yeah, but the other 10 is junk. And I kind of laughed. And she's like, what's so funny? I'm like, did you just say the other 10 was junk? She says, yeah. And everyone, the classmates looked at me, and I said, oh, never mind. So, so that's when I realized that we were dumbed down superheroes, when I was, because even when I was born here, I was kind of irritated with this body. Like, I was used to, like, being able to, like, just instantly manifest and change my reality, and everything was just very slow here and very slow energy. But yeah, so our dormant DNA is literally activating. We were born in a 3D vibration, so most humans were operating on 2 to 3 strands of DNA. So what happened to me, that after I learned I was an indigo, Indigos come in with, indigo is like it's like between blue and violet, which is the crown, the throat chakra, blue, and then the seventh chakra, the crown. So we come in with 6 to 7 already in place, not necessarily activated, but when we pass those life lessons and transmute the karma, um, it could be past life karma, this life, and clear all the density. Then we activate. You can't activate if you don't do the shadow work and remove the darkness, because it's like an operating system. If you're running, say, an old Windows program, for example, you can't install a new software in an old operating system. You have to remove the old programs, all this indoctrination and programs, remove it, uninstall it, remove everything that we are not, all the false layers, everything, to then be able to install and download these new higher frequencies, these light codes.
And speaking of the 12 strands, can you further explain the 12 strands DNA energy center, 12 dimensions that exist in our time matrix, and how we are meant to connect to all of those?
Yes. Well, our full angelic human blueprint is 12-strand DNA. Like I was saying, we originally had 12 planets. Some of them were destroyed in wars and stuff like that, but they don't talk about that. But 12 planets, 12 chakras, 12 strands of DNA, 12 dimensions, 12 zodiacs. Everything is 12, 12, 12. It's like the base number of creation, and that multiplies. But you wanted to know what was that question again? I'm sorry.
Yes, no worries.
How they correlate.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. So everything's, the base number of creation is 12. So we're designed the same way. So is our universe. So we actually live inside of a 15-dimensional time matrix. So it's actually 15 dimensions, but 12 of them are like physical experiences, like matter forms. But obviously, the higher in dimension you go, the less dense we become and the more light we become, because, God is not a man with a white beard floating on a cloud. It's nothing sort of a human. It's actually comprised. Let's take a step back here. Above the 12 dimensions, we have like God's source energy. It's called the threefold founder flame, the cosmic trinity, which is comprised of the mother, the father, and the son. And it's the blue flame, which is the mother, the gold flame, the son, and the violet is the father. And going back to when I said I was raised in Catholic, and most of the world, they always talk about the father. God is a he. People say, oh, God, he. Well, they left out the mother. And that's why this planet is inverted and reversed, because we've been infiltrated and invaded by negative aliens, unfortunately, and they've been controlling us for thousands of years. But as the light comes, they either have to leave or just they can't live here anymore. But so yeah, that's literally God's source energy, and that's our mission, is actually for ourselves, is to balance the masculine, the divine masculine and divine feminine within ourselves. But the mother is returning back to the planet, therefore bringing balance to everything, because the mother, due to the negative alien infiltration and everything, they're very smart. They're master manipulators. They actually know creation. They're very some of these dark beings go all the way up to the 11.5 dimension, but they're actually their 12 strand of DNA is actually destroyed, so they can't ascend out of this matrix. So they need to survive like all beings, but they survive on us, on other beings, on other worlds, other universes. And so that's what it is. But back to the 12-strand DNA, we fell. We came from Tara, just like we have these 12 strands of DNA and 12 chakras. Well, Earth exists in these higher densities as well. Just as you and I and all humans, we actually have higher identities on all of these dimensions.
Would you explain that as layers when you speak of
Yeah,
the earth? Because I was just talking with someone and we were discussing that.
yeah, it's almost like it's like an onion, you know, like think of Earth, 3D vibration in the middle, and then you have all these layers out. So everything is happening simultaneously. You know, time isn't really linear, it's all quantum, but it's happening at different bandwidths and frequencies. So like your higher self exists in the fifth dimension, right? Assists you here. It can consciously, but we can't. For example, we can't see them because they're operating at a higher vibrational frequency bandwidth. And so, really, I mean, if you and I were in the fifth dimension and looking at each other, we would just be just as real as it is you and I speaking now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it just and so if you're in the fifth, seventh dimension, you can see all dimensions below, but you can't see above. And it all goes by
Wow.
the amount of DNA you have activated. So that's all coming back online. But but like it's a lot of lost history. It's a lot, you know. It's like that's why it just never ends. We've been so much has been manipulated and hidden from us during the dark ages and everything. And you know, as we come back around to the light, all the truths resurface as well. You know, they might have been destroyed, but it's not, you know, nothing can be destroyed because when we connect back to our, you know, Christ self, God source energy, the records, we are the living records. We are the living library as well as the earth. So a lot of this, most of this information literally just comes from my DNA. Because we all have we literally all have this ability. So um, you know, if you activate your throat chakra, um, for example, you can connect to that fifth dimension intelligence field of reality. You don't have to leave the planet to have that perspective now. So that's what it is. There's beings on the planet literally in a box in 3D, because 3D experience is unconscious. It is like the first three chakras. It's literally like food, sex, and survival. It's literally like mammals. You know what I mean? So now we're moving actually to the second harmonic universe. So Earth has a higher version. It's called Tara. So we're moving back there where we fell from, right? So that whole game is based on this the third set of chakras above the first three. So that's the fourth chakra, which is the heart, the throat, and then the third eye. So now in the future, humans are going to be operating on these higher chakras now. We're not
And
going to be in this survival mode and dying and mutating and all this.
now that you stated the heart chakra, I was going to ask you, we are moving into the fourth dimension, which deals with our heart chakra. It is forcing the heart chakra to open and heal ourselves in dealing with our shadows and demons. Can you share more of your knowledge on this?
Yeah, it's amazing time. So like you said, we're literally the vibration of Earth. We're no longer in 3D. The whole vibration of Earth is increasing, moving to a higher dimension. And like I said, we're the molecules of Earth. So if it's vibrating, you know, higher, then we have to vibrate higher. We move with the Earth and ascend. Now that's why we're in the middle of a mass exodus and a lot of people are leaving the planet because they can't hold that vibration. And that's okay. It's not like we're better or anything. It's just
I'm
every,
so seeing this as well. Yep.
everyone evolves at different rates. So think about Earth like a ship just ascending into a higher dimension, you know, this big planet. It's literally shaking off the molecules and the lower vibrations that can't hang on, that can't stay,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And they're really, you know, as when I had my activation, my galactivation, my quickening, I call it. It's like I was able to see through the veil. It was like I didn't have to die, but now since I activated my DNA, I could see from those higher dimensions. So I can I'm connected through the veil, so you know what goes on above,
It's
you know.
interesting you also mentioned the throat chakra when you activate that. Like for myself, activating this, even starting the podcast, so many things are
Oh yeah,
working through me now. Like I do an angelic healing. So I'm just sensing so much and seeing like if they're right with me.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
And that's the key too. The more you speak, the more you activate yourself, because you're, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
we're energy. We're not supposed to, hold on to energy. We're supposed to, just let it flow. Wow, it's just monster crow just flew over the.
I just want to share you. I feel like we did this interview already because you're literally going into exactly what I'm asking you next. So it's like we're so aligned with each other.
Um, but what did
No, we were talking about vibrating energy. And then I
oh
was
yeah,
going to ask you, how are we vibrating energy at different frequencies and not physical?
yeah. Well, let me finish the fourth dimension, because that's really
Go
important.
right ahead, please.
So as the planet ascends, we ascend with her. And like Dolores Cannon says, she said, this is a classroom, this is a game. I was shown it's literally a game. That's why I posted your because that was
It's so
perfect.
true. Uh-huh.
But it's a game that our souls want to come down, because we come from the heavens. We all do. We come from the stars. Humans, we didn't grow out of the dirt here. We all come from the stars. We're actually all ETs. We just been lied to since birth. We're floating in the middle of the infinite multiverse. Earth is literally like a speck of sand inside of it. But anyway, um, so as if the earth is vibrating to the fourth dimension, well, then that's our fourth chakra. So it's forcing humans' heart chakras open for the first time. That's where they start to see the darkness within themselves. They start to wake up, because they're moving to a higher dimension within. Their DNA, fourth strain of DNA is activating, and their heart. These are all energy centers. So now that energy center is pulling in higher frequency light. Therefore, their perspective is changing, and then they usually, I mean, I did. You go through the dark night of the soul, because when your heart chakra opens, you learn to feel again, and you connect back to your soul. And that's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of humans, they don't have discernment. I actually made a video about this. But when you connect back to your soul, right, the heart center is like our superpower, because then you learn how to feel again. That's what society was designed to, like, desensitize us with all these messed up movies, and everything was all designed to keep us desensitized and to stop us from activating our heart chakra, to keep us stuck in this third density on a prison planet, and to keep it low. We've actually been frequency controlled by many other methods as well. These beings are master manipulators,
Mm.
and that's what I expose a lot, because I'm a light warrior, and light warriors actually shine the light on the darkness, because there's a lot of spiritual bypassers out there where they just want to focus on the rainbows and butterflies. Like, that doesn't mean don't stay positive and don't visualize heaven on earth every day, but we're in the middle of a spiritual war. We've been enslaved for thousands upon thousands of years. We have to become aware of the darkness. You actually have to learn the darkness and learn how to protect yourself, and learn and know the darkness just as much as the light, if you want to ascend.
For
and
sure.
and that's what facing the shadows and going through the dark night of the soul, humanity's being forced to do that. If you're moving forward and evolving, you're activating your heart chakra. If you're staying on the planet, you're moving to the heart chakra. You're activating it. And everyone's going through it at different rates. And that's why there's going to have to be a lot of people, you know, healing. The planet needs to be healed. And that's what we're here for. We're here to assist. I'm an ascension guide, and we all have our own unique skills, and we all help the whole. you know but yeah, the heart chakra is very important, and it's not like we have to take years to, like, move there. This happened to me within 2 years. So it's
The same
happening
here.
very fast. It's we're quantum leaping. That's why I always speak about quantum leaping, because if we were born in the 3D vibration, it was like kind of staying still like our whole lives, and our parents and our grandparents and generations. It was just this low frequency for a long, long time. Now now it's no longer like 3D like this. We're shooting up. So we're moving to 4D and eventually 5D. And so it's happening very, very fast. So it all depends. People are like, well, when is it going to happen? And this and that. Like, um, it depends on the humans. It depends on the collective consciousness, really. The probabilities, it depends on us.
What are your thoughts? I just recently was listening to someone and they were just stating that the individuals who are in the spiritual realm are already heading into that 5D. What are your thoughts on that? And they said by mid-year we should be right up there. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, everyone evolves at different rates. People could stay in 4D for a couple hundred years. I mean, however long it takes them, like, you know what I mean? But like I said, if the earth is moving to 5D, you have to match that vibration, and I think a lot of people are, but everyone's evolving at different rates. But it's definitely everyone's going to move into 4D and 5D. But there are, advanced avatars and indigos who are activating higher strands of DNA. And I'm 7 strand or more. I could connect to the 12th dimension is actually the Christ light. So I'm making
So
a video.
beautiful.
I'm actually making a video about that because I'm very connected with Jesus. I call him Sananda, and Jeshua, and Archangel Michael. It's literally family, and it's just they've been guiding me. They played a big role in assisting me and guiding me. But the 12th, like I said, the 12th dimension is the pure Christ light. That's where, I mean, like I said, these dark beings can go up to the 11th dimension. 12D is the pure Christ light. So, for example, Christ in Greek is Christos, which means the anointed one. So Jesus attained and activated his 12-strand DNA and connected to the 12th dimensional frequency of light, which is the Christ light. So he embodied that. Therefore, they called him the Christ. So, Jesus was the prequel of Ascension. He ascended. He wasn't crucified on a cross. That's actually a negative alien reptilian implant that actually crucified all of humanity, literally crucified all of us. It was the biggest mockery. The one being who actually embodied the light of the Christ, they took him. It wasn't him, but they made everyone think. And it was like, oh, that's the end of Christ consciousness for humanity. And then we all just started following the reptilian religion and all this. That's what crucified all of us. We don't drink the wine of his blood and eat the body. That's cannibalism. This is reptilian sacrifice. This is the Antichrist, and all of the records and ancient texts were destroyed. And religion is a man-made, reptilian man-made construct created to enslave and separate and stop humans from ascending, period, because there's a savior outside of yourself. They don't know how to connect to the light. They know nothing about activating themselves. It's very disempowering, and it keeps you stuck as by design on the planet.
Can I just ask, how can we protect ourselves from that manipulation?
Yeah. I actually I was called to do these live Ascension group chats, just like we're chatting, and I have a lot of people up there. And there's a lot of different methods, but that's the most important thing is you want to protect yourself, because especially right now, there's a lot of mind control going on through the satellites, through the
Oh,
food.
yeah.
It goes very, very deep. I mean, it's very hard. Yeah, I mean, even me, we eat like nanotechnology. It's in all types of stuff. I mean, they could read our thoughts and everything, but it's like I said, we're literally like a planet, like a sun. We have an auric field, an aura, right? And it's our energy field. And through this 3D experience, low vibration, it like diminishes. So it's like, you know, like how Earth has like an atmosphere and a protective layer, so like planets just don't come in and meteors just don't come in and ruin it, right? So we have that as well. But the lower frequency, the more like rips and tears in our auric field, and it's open, so people could become possessed very easy. They could become mind controlled very easy, manipulated very easy. And, it's like I always say, they taught us that this is just the physical world. So we're just walking around like bait to these higher, um, we have light and dark, but the dark manipulates humans down here. And it was all about like choosing the light, right? The devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other, like in every
Hmm.
situation. We all have free will to choose, but we live in a spiritual world. So the best thing is to learn how to protect your energy and to raise your frequency, to repair this, your auric field, your aura again, and make it strong so that nothing can manipulate you and penetrate you. And that happens through the heart chakra. The discernment comes in, where you start to feel, because you have to activate the heart chakra, because now you'll everyone has to go through it on their own. It's literally a training process,
I was
because
just going to ask that with discernment and the heart chakra. How
yeah,
can we? So many people are so disconnected.
yeah, yeah. Well, once they open their heart chakra, then they start to feel, and then you'll be like, oh man, I feel dark, what's going on? Then you call in the light. Like, no, there's no certain way to do it. I would just call in the light. I would call in my spirit guides. I would visualize me, wrapped in God source energy, blue ray, white diamond light. I would literally visualize it. I'm super like visual.
Same
So it's like
here. Hmm.
we literally have that power, because our thoughts are literally just as real as you and I. That's if you command that, if you speak that. So it's all about like commanding your space, learning how to clear your space. So like, for example, like I'm sure like selenite is really good for clearing, right? Black tourmaline here I was guided to. So these are tools. These
I'm
are
so glad
amazing.
you're doing this. Hmm.
Like black tourmaline, I make pendants. So
My
each
ring.
There you go. In the beginning, I bought this big chunk of black tourmaline, because when you first wake up, the lower astral entities and the darker forces, they don't want you to wake up, because they live off of us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually,
Hmm.
you know. And so when you first wake up, they're very present. And then that's the training process of like how to become a spiritual warrior. Unfortunately, we all have to become our own spiritual warriors, to get through this darkness. But that's what makes you. Um, that's how you actually learn about energy, how to read energy, how to feel it, how to literally. You learn that your energy. You learn how to protect your energy. You learn how to connect properly. You learn how to command your space. Um, um,
Don't you even see
set your
other
boundaries.
Yes, and don't you see other individuals so differently as well?
Yeah, yeah. Because now you're connecting on a soul level, on an energetic level now. You know, which is good. I was like that my whole life, and I always had to like retract, and I wonder why. When I went to start speaking deep or tried to connect with people, they got all weirded out. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Hmm.
just like this powerful, like love and connect. I'm always trying, connecting with people, and it made a lot of people like uncomfortable when I would start to speak. Uh, I'd be like, okay, well, all right, I'm not going to, I'd have to. But now is an amazing time, because we could be our true, authentic selves, because now the energy is actually catching up to us. So we were the light in the distorted, dark reality. So now it's actually changing. So
As we're speaking on the light, we are here to get to the light. Is destroying our ego through the dark night of the soul a part of that?
oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be destroyed. Yeah. Yeah. Mine was. So yeah, it's like a death process, literally. It's not easy, but you go through like I said, literally the old energy leaves. If I wouldn't be having this conversation, with the old me. So our, we go through the dark night of the soul. It will, excuse me, it will destroy your ego. But once you destroy your ego, then you align back with your soul.
Mm,
Because the ego keeps you running around. The ego is mine. The ego is what you think you are, who you think you are, based on this fake illusion that we're living in. Your whole reality, literally, it's like a wrecking ball, and your whole reality dismantles. It's a lot, and that's why we're here, but you realize that you've been bamboozled, you've been lied to. um and it's just a whole metamorphosis, literally.
can you share for yourself what it is to ascend consciously? And can you further navigate others?
Yeah, it's literally like upgrading your consciousness awareness operating system, if I could use a metaphor. So like, say we were born with a certain perspective how we view the world, right? When you ascend and activate your DNA and your chakras, which correlate to the dimensions, you literally quantum leap thousands of years to a higher dimension, to a higher version. You merge with the higher version of yourself, steps in. The way you perceive the world is closer to God's eyes, if I could say.
Mm,
So the higher we move in dimensions, the closer we get to God's source energy.
so beautiful.
So, that's what it is. Literally, um, your whole view, your whole observation of what you think you are, of how you view the world. It's like you zoom out. It's like you're freed. You're like, oh my God, that's where I was. You literally,
Mm,
it's like if we were walking through the woods in 3D, we didn't know what was behind the trees. We just had to keep walking until we got there, and then we saw. Well, activating your DNA, your perspective awareness, your consciousness, upgrading it, it's like you're just that ego flying above. You see for miles away.
mm,
It's just this vast, this bigger perspective and um, observer point. Because really, who is the observer? Who is your observer? Who is it's all God. We're all sparks of God observing itself. And so this whole 15-dimensional time matrix, God created to experience itself through all of its creations. So even the dark is God. Even the even the bad, it's all God, and it's
mm.
all simulations. I'm not trying to dumb it down, but it is. That's why these yogis, they've always spoke about that. This world is an illusion, because really the only real thing is the light that we are. These
Yes.
bodies,
Hmm.
they come and they go. Obviously, we honor them, and we treat them like a temple, like we should. But we are the energy that animates these physical experiences, and that energy is God consciousness, which is light.
So beautifully said. Can you speak more about your Ascension group and how it is empowering others to evolve consciously?
Yeah, my ascension groups, they're very powerful. It is a challenge, because it's not like I could just, every group, there's new members, some weeks and some days it's different. So I just kind of base it and feel it, how they're evolving, and I approach it that way. But my goal is to eventually, like, get everyone on the same page, right? And build everyone up so we could all, ascend together. And I help them realize, because like I went through it very fast, and I had to go through it alone and figure it all out, all the answers and everything, where I could help someone. I mean, I empower them to find it. I just guide them because everyone has to find it themselves. They can't be told. So what I do is I literally just assist. I assist them in their healing journey and their awakening journey and helping them ascend, guiding them, ascension guide. So,
Ascending from this prison so many are going through, how does bringing awareness to one's shadows impact us?
well, the more shadows um, you face and transmute, meaning transmute darkness back into light, the more light you become. So you empower yourself by facing your demons, by healing yourself. So healing is activating. Healing is freeing yourself. That's why people stay trapped because they don't want to. Well, they're not ready, and they don't want to face. They have a lot of trauma, you know. Um, and we've all lived different lives. Many of us have been in Atlantis and Lemuria before, and we were in the cataclysms and floods, and we were in all these dark times and all these games and experiences. And a lot of these things, if they're not healed, they stay with us. And it's all about clearing all this karma and transmuting it.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, we actually have assistance, though. We have assistance because these energies are being sent back onto the planet to assist us in doing this. That's why it's happening very rapidly and fast. It's not like we don't have assistance. We literally have assistance from the highest of high, the heavenly realms. The Christ light has literally returned back to the planet. So people like, is Jesus returning? The Christ is light. It already has. It's here for us,
Mm.
waiting for us to step into it and to, do what we have to do, heal ourselves and activate ourselves. Um, but all the keys are literally in our DNA. We have all the answers, and like we're not learning. We're just remembering. Because if we have 12 strands of DNA already, that's Christ. That's full of angelic. We already, that. So those are just plugging in and coming back online. So when they activate, we're remembering.
Mm. Energies at the moment. Is there anything you have for us to wake us up?
Uh Anything to wake you up. Um what can I say? What can I say? It's well, I love waking people up, actually. I enjoy it. I love shattering people's realities. Unfortunately, many realities have to be shattered to wake up.
Of course.
So it's not like waking up isn't necessarily a fun thing. Once you get past the clearing and the darkness and the shadows, it levels out a little bit, and then that's where you step into your power, um, and with you align to a higher, literally, timeline for your life. So what I would say is just um, to inspire them, that all literally, it's all inside of us. I've experienced it. Like I said, I'm still ascending and evolving. It never ends, but I'm living proof that I feel it. It's activated within my DNA. I see the world with new eyes. I feel different. I see different. Um, Everything is changing, and this is real. It's actually happening to millions of people. And my advice is just to detach from the matrix, because the matrix was designed to keep you stuck. It's not, the matrix was not designed for you to connect with your soul. So literally, as long as you are distracted and in the hamster wheel, you never have time to question, to even think about anything besides work, going to sleep, taking a shower, doing it all over again. And, that's the hamster wheel. And that's not God's creation at all.
Mm,
So, I mean, the lives that we were living artificial lives. And that's another topic I talk about, is observing it and choosing, or because there's an inorganic timeline, an artificial, and an organic timeline playing out. And you see that happening and being shown to us very quickly, just as fast as we're ascending. They're rolling that out because they know they want to connect everyone to technology quick. They
mm,
don't want them
mm.
ascending. So they're like, they knew this time was coming. That's why you got to be a spiritual warrior, and activate the heart chakra and use your discernment, because these dark ones, they knew this time was coming, so they set up their minions as these light workers. They're fake light workers. So they mix
Wow.
truth with lies to trap you, to confuse you, to keep you distracted. And that's why people are always following this one and this channeler and then this story. That's not how it works. You have to follow yourself. That's it.
Mm,
The journey to ascension is going within and following yourself. That's it. You don't need anyone else, because when I went searching for God, um, I found myself, and when I found myself, I found God. That's how it works.
love that.
God is not outside of us, you know, and that's obviously another thing that can only be felt, not told. But I share it because it happened to me. But literally, when you eventually find God, you find yourself, because you realize it was within you all along. We had the power.
Beautiful. If
So
there is one word for the collective, what would that be?
Galactivate. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's
Let's
galactivate.
go.
Um, One word. That's
I think you said it right there.
yeah, galactivate. Let's
Love that.
galactivate, people. I mean, galactivate is, we're stepping into a whole new paradigm, a whole new world. The golden age is coming, um, very, very fast. We're quantum leaping into the future. Um, we're going to be able to heal ourselves when we're actually ascending with these bodies. So a lot of people think ascension is like, oh, we die, and then it used to be like that, not anymore. We're actually, our bodies are changing from carbon, this dense matter, to eventually lighter. So as your DNA activates, your diet will change. You'll be called to eat different things, lighter things. There's just so many things. But yeah, we're literally turning into, our superhumans, a whole new type of human. And
Just
you,
mm-hmm.
HU is you, like light, hue, and then man is manifest. So light manifested in man, you man, we're light, energy.
Awesome. How may our listeners find you?
I'm mostly active on Instagram, which is just Justice Bellucci, at Justice Bellucci, and then I have different pages and links from there, but that's my most popular page. Then I have a YouTube channel, which it's kind of hard to keep up with everything, with all of it, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
I enjoy it. I
Yeah.
know they will too. Any last words?
Um, that's about it. I mean, we could talk about Ascension for forever. Obviously, there's so much, but I just, want to say thank you for, having me on here and connecting with you. I usually don't do a lot of interviews, but I could already tell. I'm like, you're just like pure light, like just bright, just
Thank you.
like an angel. I could just feel the energy. And I watch your
So
other
appreciate
interview.
I so appreciate that. Thank you.
I watched your other interview with Debbie, and she said something about the lions. And when I saw you, I'm like, yeah, she's a lion.
And little did she know, with the healing she stated about healing, little did she know I was into the work as well. I stayed quiet on that because I was in my studies.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Justice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roni.